And I want to talk some football, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk some Super Bowl exactas. Listen, from a future standpoint, like maybe there's still some value in your mind, but I think it's more fun to speculate at some of these longer numbers potentially, or shorter numbers in terms of the exacta market. And with only 4 teams left, you're not really taking a huge swing here. So I'm going to start with you, Mike McClure. You're always the person that will diagnose something potentially different. I shouldn't say that. I know that the three of you will potentially do that. But being the Chiefs fan and knowing that, because I've done shows with you already this week, knowing that you like the Chiefs this week, perhaps you're going a little further down the board. So if you were going to pick an exacta, what would it be?
Yeah, so I mean, I would recommend that to anyone. If you have the team that you really like here, that's probably where the value is going to be, especially if you're leaning one of the underdogs this week. But for me, the best value on the board is going to be the Chiefs to beat the 49ers, plus 600. That's where I would be. I have a decent size edge on Kansas City at current price points over Baltimore here. And I have the 49ers Detroit mostly fair value. So that's where I would look. If you're someone that loves the Lions or anything like that, it's going to be wherever you have your biggest edge today in this first game is likely going to be what you're going to want to continue to bet on in terms of the exacta.
Can I just say, I was so hung up on the Goose story and on Chip Patterson doing the honk and on seeing Prop Stars, who's actually in the chat, which is super cool, along with Buckets. I forgot, like, part of the reason this whole chat is here, especially right on time, it's for the Chip Me Up. And I didn't even go to Chip Patterson. Chip, it's kind of your bad. You distracted me with the goose noises, but forgive me. I haven't done the proper BPE hello.
Hey, no.
Other than Chip Patterson.
I think that this is a time. Sometimes you got to use that and you got to have some PSA. Okay. So this is a Patterson service announcement. And this is, you don't mess with geese. Like sometimes I run into them on the golf course all the time. And if I hook it a little bit left on the 8th hole and I see that it's not only landed near a goose, but multiple geese, and I see a mother goose, you know what's happening? We're putting another ball on the tee. That one's gone. That one belongs to the geese. You learn these lessons because you step forward. You're like, oh, I got a great round going. No, sir, that is out of bounds. I understand that it is technically in bounds, but it is out of bounds when it is near geese. Do not mess with geese. You give them their space, and anything they take, that's theirs. I know Freya means a lot to Buckets, means so much to Buckets, but sometimes you just got to, let chips fall where they may.
Yeah, let Freya fight that battle and see where the chips fall. By the way, professional tees to the golf picks that are coming up. And by the way, I continue to hit the round matchups. Also in my SportsLine article, I already hit the 2 tournament matchups. Those are already done. The 2 people I bet against, they missed the cut. So if you read that article and you bet the 2 tournament matchups, you won. If you bet the 2 round matchups this week, you won those as well. We are on a nice little run in the finishing positions. The 3 guys I picked out for finishing positions, all looking pretty good. All right, Chip, I'm going right back to you before I get to Danny Brasco. Which of these Super Bowl 58 exacta outcomes do you prefer?
I want one, man. I want to have men in the Super Bowl, man. I really do. Anything with the Lions. Like, you want to find the value. You want to find the fun. Like Ravens, Lions, Chiefs to beat Lions. I don't think that they have everything to get all the way there, but do they have enough to be able to beat a San Francisco team that might have a limited Deebo Samuel? Yes. I absolutely think that vibes can overcome science. Detroit Lions, they are a vibes team. So when I'm looking for a little bit of value here, I would not go Lions to get it all the way done, but especially with this ride that they're on before the week off that they would have between the conference championships and the Super Bowl. Yeah, between Ravens and Chiefs, let's say Chiefs, 14-1 good payout. But when we're looking at this exact board, any of those Ravens to beat Lions, Chiefs to beat Lions, those are my 2 favorite spots to go.
I love that. I also love Snug the Cat. By the way, I mean, the Lions ones are like really attractive because of the number. Like, I can't take my eyes off Chiefs to beat Lions at plus 1,400. I do think San Francisco, my preseason Super Bowl pick, I think they do need to be on upset alert. I mean, it's not like they've played super well over the last month, and we know Debo's kind of a little down and out. Well, let's see if he actually plays and how effective he is. But listen, I think the 49ers are going to win the game. I'm not so sure about covering, but it's not outside the realm of possibility if the Lions win that game. The Chiefs beat the Ravens, and the Chiefs win yet another Super Bowl for Mike McClure and Kansas City. By the way, Snug the Cat says, I'm pretty sure Chip's kids get Monster drink in their sippy cups as opposed to apple juice, which is probably accurate. And Japan says, go ahead, Chip.
They are why I am. Okay. Like you catch me after doing all morning with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, like two boys. I mean, the energy that you're catching from me is that energy. Like I get it from them.
I love it. And by the way, Japan's on Griot. He says Griot 120 to 1. Japan, I want to ask you, because I know you have your own picks too. I know I mentioned that outright as a long shot on the early wedge on Monday, which is normally on Tuesday. I'm just curious if you got that one from me, because he's actually in contention here. So interesting call out there. All right, Danny Brasco, speaking of call outs, I happen to know that, and I'm not gonna give it away, but I know you like a team. We're gonna get to our official picks in a second. I know you like a certain team to cover. I don't know about outright win. It's kind of a very vague tease for one of your NFL sides coming up later in the show. But which of these do you like the best?
That's right. Trying to keep that vague, ambiguous tease, but give it away a little bit. I love the way that Mike and Chip broke this down, how to kind of attack the exactas, and following with Chip's vibes. I mean, how do you not want Dan Campbell to maybe bite someone's kneecap off all the way to the Super Bowl? Like, you never know. So give me Ravens to beat Lions plus 800. I think they've got a fighting chance. We're going to talk about that matchup a little later in the show and the spread. But yeah, Ravens, Lions plus 800. Those numbers, like you guys are saying, they're so attractive with the Lions in there.
Absolutely. By the way, James A in the chat, Proppy, your NBA plays are 8-0 the past two nights. This guy's on fire. If you saw the recap screen, forgive me for not even calling it out. I mean, he went 2-0 again. This guy has been absolutely on fire. Larry gave out how many units Proppy is up. And as of, I think, yesterday, when we talked about it on the show, he was up 36 or 37 units on this young NBA season. So make that, I don't know, 39, 40 at this point, thanks to another 2-0 day from Proppy last night. So good call out there, James A. I don't really, just looking at those, I think the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. But again, I think that Chiefs over the Lions at plus 1,400. It's just calling my name for whatever reason. If I was going to pick maybe a shorter one, it would probably be 49ers to beat the Chiefs at plus 475, even though I do think the Ravens are going to win that game.